Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts again, and sorry it's been a bit of a delay since I was last here, or a bit of a time since I was last here. I was away at a team weekend up in Birmingham, which was an absolute blast, but it did mean there was quite a lot of prep for that. Yeah, prioritisation and all that, I really must get ahead a bit more, so hopefully I am back with a bang. So, this is the card that I have already made, and this is using the Colourful Seasons stamp set, and the colours are Berry Burst, Crushed Curry, this is also Berry Burst but stamped off, Early Espresso, Pumpkin Pie and Bermuda Bay. It's a bit of a... I wouldn't have thought of putting them together, but then, you know, occasionally you just have to do these things, so I did. So, this is actually using the Colour Theory Designer Series paper stack, so it's one of the ombres and it's in Crushed Curry. So this was basically done just with stamping. The only slight cheat on that was the deck chair, which is this here. Can you see that without it blinding you? Yes, you can. To stamp that on the Crushed Curry, it came out as a sort of dirty mud colour. So I actually stamped this on Whisper White and then cut it out by hand. So this is literally just stamping and paper snipping and layering. So this really is a very simple, very basic card, but still very beautiful. And life is a beautiful thing. It says so. So that's all good. Anyway, I thought what would be fun is if I take this card and then step it up. So this is a card that I would say is for maybe a beginner, possibly a beginner, but maybe the next step up from a beginner. So easy, simple, a little bit of layering on the stamping, so hence possibly not a beginner, but nothing complicated, and then just a few pearls added. So really nothing complicated, very few supplies because I've only used 2 ink pads, because I only used the Early Espresso and the Berry Burst. So, as I say, not an expensive card to put together. I mean, obviously once you've invested in the items, you've then got them to use for forever. So, yeah. So I thought I would step it up. Now I have done some prep, but I'm still going to show you the steps that I made, or took. Let's put some English into this. So I'm still using the Colourful Seasons stamp set, which I think is beautiful because it does actually give you the whole of the year. So you've got the leaves for autumn, you've got snowflakes for winter, you've got blossom for summer or spring, and then you've obviously got the deck chair, which one would imagine is for summer, and certainly that's what I'm looking at. So still using that. I'm adding Pumpkin Pie into my 2 colours, so I've still got Berry Burst, Early Espresso, and then adding Pumpkin Pie, so stepping it up a bit in the colours. And then I'm going to add in the Seasonal Layers framelets. So here we have, again, snowflakes, leaves. Some of these leaves work, or some of the dies work with the stamp set, and some of them stand alone. We've got an Adirondack chair, which is an American thing really, rather than certainly not a British thing. This little shape here is for the drink cup. Then blossoms, this lovely scallop edge. So yeah, lots of lovely dies there, and I'll be using a number of them. Then again, I'm using the Colour Theory series, Designer Series paper stack, and I'm adding in the Lots of Labels framelit dies. So, and obviously the Big Shot. So, what have I already done? I have already die cut some items. So I have already die cut the Adirondack chair and the branch. I have already die cut some flowers, but I am actually going to just show you how I did those. And I have already die cut the little sippy cup, so the little drink cup. And that's actually the only thing that I have used the pumpkin pie for. So if you wanted to take that colour out, you could use any colour, but you could possibly put the berry burst back in instead, because that would work quite well. So what have I otherwise prepped? I have got a pumpkin pie mat again, which is, so that's the same here. I'm going to be using the Bermuda Bay card base again, and for this, instead of using just one piece, I have cut, so I've die cut the bit off the bottom here. Actually it's that way up. So I've scalloped the bottom of that and then cut this down so it's still the same width. And these are my standard dimensions, and they'll be on my website, so no need to worry about that. And then this was actually just a piece of the Berry Burst ombre paper from the Colour Theory stack that I had lying around, so I've just used that to form the bottom of my card. And actually this is where I stamped the deck chair just to see what the colours look like for the original version, and this is why, because as you can see that's a fairly muddy colour apart from where it's white, which was why I decided to put it on the Whisper White and then cut it out. So those are the bits that I've kind of prepared. I have prepared some flowers as well, and I have prepared the sentiment, but I will still stamp those so that you can see what I did. So let us start with the flowers. And I've actually used all three of the individual flowers because there are these three here. And don't worry that these have gone pink. They're still, in inverted commas, clean. Oh, I lied. I also had fresh fig. Woo! Because the calyx, and thank you to one of my YouTube subscribers for confirming that I was right, and that's what they're called. So I used fresh fig for the calyx on the flowers of the one that I'm now doing. So let's just use this one. The theory works the same on all of them, but I'll just use this stamp so you don't have to watch me stamping and die cutting millions of things. So Berry Burst ink pad, 3 gentle taps, and then because I want 3 generations of colour, did I do 3 on this? Well, you can do 3 generations of colour. All I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3. So 3 generations of colour. And it works beautifully in the 3 generations. I'm just going to clean that off and then grab. Now there are 3 calyx as well as the 3 flowers, so do make sure you get the right one. And they're numbered usefully, so I don't know if you can see, probably not, but they are numbered, so that they're numbered and they've got an arrow, so you know which way up is, so it's that way because it says so. So before I put my hand in it, it has been known. So fresh fig, and again I'm going to do 3 generations of fresh fig. So we will be doing, I'm going to ignore that phone because I'm hoping it's not for me. 1, 2, 3. Now that last one wasn't brilliant, so I might just stamp that off and do that again. There we go, that's better. Right. Okay, so that's that. So that's how you do your layers. And then all I would do is take the corresponding die, which is this one, and I use the magnetic base plate. Now they do have a right way up and a wrong way up, and you do need to, there we are. So you do need to make sure you've got them the right way up. Are you able to see that? It would be useful if you could, really, wouldn't it? Yes, you could. So yes, you need to make sure that they are the right way round, but because I stamped them all the same way up, once I know which way up is, I can die cut those easily. So I've run those through with the magnetic base plate, just so that I knew that everything stayed in place. So that's that. Then the only other thing that I need to stamp before die cutting is the sentiment with the early espresso, and you can see this is where I cut out the original, or the one I've already done. So all I did with that was literally just stamp it, so that's easy. And then I've die cut it so that it's at one end of the label punch, because I'm going to cut that off. So now all I need to do is put the thing together. So let us grab our pieces. So here we go. Okay, so this is going to be at the bottom. So get some snail. And there's parts of me that really, when you turn over designer series paper and you see that there's a lovely pattern on the other side, it's a bit sad. But there we go. Can't use both sides. Well, you can, just not at the same time and on the same project. And then this, which, as I say, I've already stamped on the back of that, so I'm less sad about that. And then pop this down. Now, because I've cut this to size, I need to just make sure that I get both ends lined up. And this is why I prefer, actually that's all right, it's a bit tight on that corner, but as you know, I prefer wet adhesive. So on the subject of wet adhesive, so this is the Tombow, and all I'm going to do, you can use, we've got the new adhesive strips, which you can use by putting your card onto those before you die cut them. I haven't got mine yet. I'm waiting to see whether I want to, because I actually don't have too much of an issue with most of my die cuts, but I think some of them I might find them useful, so we will see. So I'm just going to pop that down there and just make sure that's down, and then I'm going to put my little cup of drink where? There, I think. And in fact, actually, because we've got them now, let's see, will a new mini dimensional, these are a new packet of, and I've never used them before, let's have a look. Oh, you see, they were made just for the back of the cup. So let's pop that down with one of our new mini dimensionals. Perfect. And then this I'm going to have coming right over the edge, and let's see, shall I think I'll pop it up a bit there, I think probably there, because I don't want that peeking out. In fact, I think there probably, and that I'm going to stick down with dimensionals again, making sure that I'm at the right end, because I then want to cut it off having stuck it down. So let's pop that down. Yep. And then turn it over and just snip off the back. And if you do it from the back, you can line your scissors up with the edge here, and then you get a nice straight edge. So that's that. Then I've just got to do the blossoms. So again, you could use the fine tip glue pen. I am I have mixed feelings about the fine tip glue pen. Probably my biggest problem is because I am of an age where my arms are getting a bit too short, I have a problem actually getting the needle back in. So yeah, old age, Anno Domini is setting in. So I'm going to have this coming quite a way across, and I know I've put glue coming over the edge, but that's fine because it will dry. And if you have glue coming out of the sides at all or from underneath, it dries clear. So again, I'm not too worried about that. Now, if I bring in the flowers that I've already done, some of these I've done in Berry Burst Just Card because I was using it anyway. I've also done some in powder pink. I'm not convinced by the powder pink ones on this project, but I thought I would give them a go and just see how they go. And in fact, seeing them here, I think I will not bother. They just are not quite the right colour for this. So, and you will see that this one I didn't stamp particularly well, but because I'm going to layer them, I don't mind. I'll just make sure that that's underneath something. Now I'm going to put the solid ones kind of at the back just to build up some layers. And again, because they're going at the back, I'm just going to use a bit of wet adhesive. So my wonderful Tombow, which I love. I'm just popping that there. Then I've got the yellow from the background coming through. I don't like the idea of having brown coming through from the early espresso, because I quite like the idea of the yellow being, for these particular ones, the calyx. Now that I know it's called a calyx, I'm going to start calling them calyx, having done my guess previously. I do love it that my YouTube subscribers keep me on track for these things. So thank you for that. And there's a point. So I have announced already that when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing another giveaway, because I did a giveaway when I got to 500. And as of this morning, we are at, let me just check before I give you the wrong information. So as of today, when I'm recording this, we are at 944. So in the space of about a week, hurrah! Thank you all very much. Not long now. So let's just, and I don't mind going over the edge just a bit, because I know that this mat is smaller than the card will be. And I'm literally just adding a few layers. This one I know I want to have with something on top of it, because I didn't stamp it very well. So if I pop that there, and then these I will pop up on dimensionals, and again I think I'll use the mini dimensionals because I can. The other thing that you can use obviously is the edges of your dimensionals. So, but for these smaller ones, I am going to use just one. They're not taking any weight. So, and then a big one for that. So yeah, because they're not taking any weight, there's no point in using a whole fistful. Actually, if I pop that there, and then this one we can have, let's see, let's have this one there, I think. What have we got left? Okay, so if I pop this one up here and this one over here, there. So that's those. Now I can take the back off my branch, because that I know I don't want. Pop pop that in the bin. There's a surprise, me actually putting something in the bin. Right, and now we've got, ooh, I seem to have two. Got my Bermuda Bay card base. I've already scored it down the middle. This is just a piece of half of A4, so cut to A5, scored down the middle, and then fold towards the mountain, so towards the lump. And the reason you do that is because when you score, you stretch the fibres on the side that you score, so you want to keep those stretching. So that's why you do that. And then we'll pop that on and we'll use glue. And then all I need to do is add a few pearls and we're there. And as ever, you don't need a huge amount of the glue. So it's good glue. This is not buy a gallon of it for £1 glue. This is really good glue, so you don't need to use a lot, and by not using a lot you don't end up with it rippling. Right, okay, so some pearls and a piercing tool. And actually I'm going to bring in a few others because, in fact, do I want to use pearls? No, I think I don't. Because the reason I don't want to use pearls, I think, is because I want something round here, but pearls will just disappear. So we won't use pearls. We'll use something else. So what's that? That's Daffodil Delight. Don't want Daffodil Delight. Those are a bit big. I used to be indecisive. Those are so saffron. What I'm really looking for are those delightful crushed curry. Those are crushed curry. That's what I'm looking for. Right. Okay. So we'll use crushed curry instead. So, yeah, why not? In fact, let's just pop a few of the smaller crushed curry in the centre of our coloured, as in cardstock, flowers. And then the larger ones I will pop onto I like triangles, so it's just where my triangle is. Here, I think. And then, do I want them there? No, I think that's enough. I think that's enough. So that's the stepped up version, and that's the more simple, straightforward, cleaner version, if you like. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. So this, I would say, is for the avid crafter, and this is for the keen crafter. Step up from beginner. I will link everything that I used in the description bar below, but there will also be a link to the associated blog post, which will have the measurements and some close-up photos. And there'll also be the YouTube video embedded there as well. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, bear in mind that I am doing my giveaway soon, hit the subscribe button. If you still don't have your new catalogue and would like one and you're in the UK, then there is a form on my blog for asking for a catalogue. I would ask that you only ask me for a catalogue if you don't currently have a demonstrator and that you would like me to be your demonstrator, because I do actually have to pay for them, and obviously I have to pay for the postage. So I would just ask that you do the honourable thing there. Obviously I won't send the police round if you don't, but you know, honour among crafters. So yes, and if there is anything you would like to, any of these items that you'd like to buy or anything else, pop over to my online shop. You shopping with me helps me bring videos, so that would be great. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon. Bye!